All right. Hello and welcome, or welcome back to Sienna. My name is Dr. Clark, and in this video I'm going to introduce myself, including what I hope is some fun show and tell. And then in the next video I'll give you a brief tour of our course website on Canvas. And once you've had a chance to familiarize yourself with our website and the course assignment structure, I'm going to have you complete an introductory assignment to help me get to know you better as well. So, a bit about me. So I'm an assistant professor in animal physiology here. And when I'm not teaching, I conduct research to study the physiology and behavior of several different types of insects, and specifically a type of cricket known as a field cricket, and a species of leafcutter ant that's native to the southwestern desert of the United States. And I rear colonies of both of these types of insects in a research space here on campus. And so for this video, I've brought in some living examples to show you. Okay, so now here in this video you can see some of the crickets over here on the left, and over on the right we've got some of the leafcutter ants. So I'm just going to take the lid off of the crickets here. So the two crickets that are in this box are both female crickets, and I know that because they have a long structure that projects off of their abdomen called the ovipositor. And ovipositor is basically an egg-laying organ, or as I like to call it, an egg butt shovel. And these guys use ovipositors, or these girls use these ovipositors to dig into the soil and then lay their eggs in soil. And one other interesting fun fact about these crickets is that some of these crickets have long wings and they're able to fly, whereas other individuals have short wings and they cannot fly, they're flightless. So right now the cricket that's up here towards the top has wings. You can see just the tips of the wings sticking out back over the back part of her abdomen. And the other cricket here in front does not have wings, long wings, so she's a flightless cricket. And so a lot of my work, my research work, focuses on studying aspects of the physiology involved in being able to fly or not being able to fly. So those are the crickets, and then over here we've got leafcutter ant colony, and the containers that these ants are in are painted with a slippery Teflon substance on the sides. So you can see even there's an ant over here on the side of the outer container, and the slippery substance is going to help keep them from escaping when I open up this lid here. So what we have here in this leafcutter colony is on the left-hand side, this is a foraging arena, so to represent what would normally be above ground. And there's a couple different things going on here. There's a pile of leaves in the middle and also some cornmeal, and then on the side here there's a trash pile. So ants are extremely fastidious, and they like to keep their nest clean, so they actually will remove and discard waste material into a pile like this. You can see a lot of ants out here milling around. So what these ladies will do, and these are all girls, is they collect these leaves and then they bring them back over into these chambers on the right. And the chambers here, this whitish substance that you see, is a type of fungus or a mushroom. And so this is what would normally be underground. And the fungus that these ants grow is only found in leafcutter ant colonies, so it's not found free living at all. So what the ants do is they don't actually eat the leaves, they collect the leaves, they bring them back, they process them, chop them up into smaller pieces, and then they use them to grow this fungus. And the fungus is the food source that they actually eat. So with the ants, I'm very interested in studying both the behavior and the nutritional relationship between the ants and their fungus garden. And as you can see here, in an arrangement like this, it's possible to track what individual ants are doing, to see how the workers divide up different tasks in the colony. Okay, so with that, I'm going to switch back over to continue this introduction. Okay, so now how did I get here and wind up working with ants and crickets? Well, I actually grew up in Seattle, and growing up I got to spend a lot of time in the outdoors, especially in a big park that was really close to my house, the Washington State Arboretum. And I grew up in a household with lots of family pets. So we had a cat, there were gerbils, rats, budgies, so lots of animals. And should mention that chances are pretty good that my current cat, Emma, is going to show up at some point this semester. So then for college, I went to Tufts University in Boston, and during my junior year there, I took a course in animal behavior. And in that animal behavior course, we learned about a wide range of different types of social behavior, including about social insects. So at that point, I actually wasn't enthusiastic about insects. Not interested in interacting with them at all. But I did think that the social organization of ants, bees, and termites was really interesting. And so in spite of my reservations, I wound up applying for graduate programs in biology to study social insect nutrition and behavior. So graduate school then took me out to Arizona State University. And so living in Arizona, I discovered just how absolutely amazing the Sonoran Desert is in the southwestern US. Go visit if you can. And so while I was there, I learned how to find and collect leafcutter ant queens, and I completed my dissertation on them, studying the nutritional relationship between the ants and the fungus they grow. And so here's actually a picture of a mating swarm of leafcutter queens and males. So they have wings at the start of their lives. They fly in the air. They form these giant swarms. The males grab onto the queens, then they fall to the ground and they mate. And then the queens rip their wings off and run around, and they look for a spot to dig a new nest and start a new colony. And so if you grab the queens while they're running around on the ground, you can get them to start a colony in the lab. So anyway, so I was at Arizona State studying leafcutter ants. And so after I finished my PhD, I was still very much hooked on science. So I looked around for what's called a postdoctoral research opportunity. So that then led me to Texas A&M University. And in Texas, I switched from ants to working with crickets. And I also learned a whole lot more about how to study nutrition and nutrient regulation in insects and in other animals. And that's not the end of the story. So from Texas, I went to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And then from Nebraska, I went back out to the West Coast to UC Berkeley. And over the course of things, I never could have imagined growing up that I would wind up living in so many different places. And so that wasn't it. After that, I wound up traveling all the way back across the country out here to Siena. Okay, so there's three main reasons why I'm telling you these things about myself. For one, for all of the times in our life when we have a plan and we think we know what's going to come next, there's a lot of other times when life has different ideas for us. So again, I've been on a pretty incredible adventure so far. Who knows what the future will hold? Same may be true for you. Next, I want you to realize that I and your other professors at Siena are here for you as people, not just as a professor, but as a human being. And, as you progress through college and beyond, and this is just a fairly short summary of my life, and there are a ton of stories from all the places where I've lived and from all the work I've done that I can share with you. And then finally, we all tend to learn best when the things that we're learning about are engaging and fun. And so, obviously, I really love and enjoy the research that I do with the ants and the crickets and find it to be really engaging and fun. And I don't expect you to love and enjoy the exact same things that I do. But through this course, I do hope to introduce you to aspects of biology that you will grow to love and enjoy as well. And I hope that you take these experiences with you and they shape your life in positive ways for years to come.